I remember my first crush, and I'm pretty sure this is my first crush. It was like sixth grade or so, seventh grade maybe. And I was in art class. There was this one John. She was from South America somewhere, or her family was from South America rather. And we would sit next to each other, or I would try to sit next to her, and she would let me sit next to her, and talk every day, share art supplies, show each other our pictures, paintings, drawings, all that stuff. And it got to a certain point where I knew, okay, I'm gonna try to ask her out. I'm gonna try to ask her to be my girlfriend, whatever it's called back then in middle school. Um, and I was super nervous. There was one day in particular, I remember she had like some paint on her face, so she asked me to help me get the paint off. And I was looking, I was like, okay, this is gonna be the moment right here. I'm gonna do it right now. And immediately like froze up, like didn't do it. And like when you're talking to somebody, you can kind of tell that they're waiting on you to say something or do something, because the time had passed way beyond me like getting the makeup off the girl's face. And so she's giving me like this look, like, okay, like, so what are you gonna do? What are you gonna say? And it was just like how you would see it in like a movie or a TV show, and the guy is like, that's it, and like nothing, and like the look of being deflated from the other person that's waiting on them to do something, and they don't do it. They're just like, okay, whatever. It was exactly like that in sixth grade, exactly like that. And that moment wasn't that bad. What made that moment worse was later on. It felt like a while later on, maybe like a month later. Long story short, another guy in our grade had asked that same girl out, and no disrespect to Buddy, great guy. I'm sure he's a great guy now. Dude was ugly. But long story short, she said yes to him. He asked her to be his girlfriend, and she said yes. I was devastated. I went home and listened to every R&B song I could think of. I was in my bed, sad, depressed, terrible, distraught. And they dated for however long, I don't even remember. Doesn't really matter now. Mattered to the 6-year-old me. How old was I? So like 11 or 12. Mattered to me then for sure. But looking back on things like that, I was like just so afraid to do that particular thing. Fast forward, I'm in my early 20s, and I have a cleaning business, and it's a cleaning and repair business. I took some of my knowledge from some of the other jobs that I've had and decided to have my own business. I had a full-time job on the side. I just worked really long shifts, like 12, 13-hour shifts. I had the majority of my week open to do my cleaning and repair business. So this one company hired me from way out, and they say, hey, we have some homes in your area. We're looking for a contractor to come through and to do turns to get them ready so they can be rented out. Perfect. That is the exact same thing that I did at my previous jobs. So I'm like, all right, cool. I send them my checklist of everything that I want to do. I try to be very official with it, and they're like, hey, we just need painting, floors cleaned, bathrooms cleaned, various things, but we appreciate some of the extra stuff. So I go through, and there's a couple things they asked me, putting in LVT, which for those of you that don't know, it's just a different type of flooring. It's not actual wood floors. Sometimes they can be just the ones that you lay down, and other times it's just click. You cut the pieces of board and they click together. But I had never done that before. I know that it's extremely easy, and I probably could have figured it out, but I didn't have a saw blade or anything like that to cut it cleanly with. I had never done it before, so I was like, nah, I'm going to pass on that one. And there was a window that was busted in the house, in the kitchen, and I had never replaced a window before, not that type of window pane, and I was putting that off. I was telling them, hey, I could get somebody else to come through and do that, and they said no, we just want to deal with one person. We don't want to have to hire other people for it. So to shorten this story up, I was so just worried, like, I don't know if I'm qualified to do that. I don't know if that's my thing. I've never done that before. I ended up losing my contracts with that company. They more or less was like, hey, this guy's taking too long. We need to move on to somebody else. Just pay him out what we owe him and move on to somebody else. So I ended up not even working with that company anymore. I worked with them for maybe like 3 months on maybe like 2 or 3 other houses, and then just never again. And with that one too, it was just a lack of trusting in myself and my abilities. On one hand, I've done almost all of those things already, so I know what I'm doing. The other hand, I know my work ethic enough, and I know my thinking ability enough that I can figure it out. Nothing that's going to happen, nothing that I'm going to do is going to be that bad where I couldn't just figure it out. And then thirdly, I know I hustle enough that there is no reason for me to tell them about me hiring anybody else. Once they hired me, I could have easily just paid somebody else to do it and then just say that I did. Or if I didn't have the money, which I didn't have the money at the time to pay somebody else, I could have called a family member up or a friend up and said, hey, can I borrow $300? Can I borrow $500? Possibly. Five is a lot, but probably could have got $300. And I'll pay you back $4 in like a month. When I get this job done with this house, I'll pay you back $4. I'll pay you back, $350 just as appreciation, something like that. I know I could have done that, but I was overthinking it. I didn't trust in my thinking ability. I didn't trust in my actual work skills or anything that I had done up to that point in my life. I didn't have the confidence in myself to get it done, and I ended up losing out on that work opportunity. Even I think about today, my younger self not having the confidence just to tell somebody that you like them, that you had an interest in them. And I'm making this video currently. It's super late. I can't even check what time it is right now, but it's probably like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I wasn't going to do it because I need to get a haircut. I need to get my beard shaped up. Not too tired. I'm not exhausted, but I'm ready to go to sleep. And the thought came across my mind earlier while I was taking a shower. I decided to get my stuff together, sit down, and make this video. Something that's really been on my heart and my mind as of the past few months. That at a certain point you get tired of life happening instead of living life. You get tired of things just happening and going about. You kind of going through the motions. It reminds me of the movie Click with Adam Sandler, one of my favorite movies. And as he's just going through the phases, life starts to pass him by super, super quick. And he looks back and he's missing chunks of his life because he's just been fast forwarding and skipping all the boring parts, or he's just been going through the motions. And sometimes life can feel like that, especially as you go through so much social media, scrolls and videos, all these different things. You start to see other people living life, and for you feel like life is just happening. And not even that you just don't have any control, but that you're not in the driver's seat. You're just in the passenger seat, looking out the window, seeing everything pass by. And that's not a good feeling, especially when you know that you are valuable, you have skills, you have things that you can give to others to benefit others. And you're seeing other people doing things. They have the courage to go out and to say what they want. And sometimes it's not about who's more skilled and who's not, or who's more intelligent, because we all know that there's some dumb people out here. They got plenty of money, plenty of recognition, plenty of achievements, plenty of people that are not as skilled as you. They're not as good as you, and they are doing the things that you want to do. And that just reminds me of that middle school me, and then also me from a few years ago, early 20s, that like 50% to 75% of whatever you want to do is just strictly based on your confidence and your belief in yourself, and just taking the steps, putting in the effort of starting to do something. And the more that you're willing to make mistakes and to do things, and to not be afraid of something that could go wrong, because that's really what a lot of that is. Just being so afraid of not messing up, you just end up not doing anything at all, because nothing can go wrong if I don't do anything. And there's probably some childhood experiences and trauma that led to that kind of thinking for myself. I know, don't really know what it is right now. I'll address that in another video. But that mindset of just freezing, like, well, I'm not going to do anything because I don't want to look stupid, I don't want to mess up. It just holds you back so much, because 9 times out of 10, nothing that bad could possibly happen. It's all in your mind and your emotions. The lack of knowing what could happen. You just don't know all the uncertainty, your anxiety, and your fear start to kind of fill in the blanks, and that is enough for you to not even pursue what you want to do. Because I mean, just think about a middle schooler. Like, how many middle school classmates do you really remember, and how many of them do you even care about? You know what I'm saying? The worst thing that could have happened was like, ew, get this ugly boy out of my face. And even to this day, what is that going to do to me as an adult? Nothing. It's going to be the worst thing up to my life at that point. But in all reality, it won't do anything. And then as I get through life, okay, cool, that happened. The worst thing that could happen is the next girl does that again. But once again, I didn't die, and I still have my friends, and so many other things in my life are still going. Even with the other company, when I was older, I had my cleaning and repair company. I mess up something. That company could easily, hey, you're not getting the job done. We're going to hire somebody else to come through and fix this. When I was employed, there was plenty of times we had contractors come through and they didn't do a good job. We just got rid of them and got a new contractor. Nothing else. The same thing could have happened to me. I could have just gave it a try. I could have just went on YouTube University, looked up how to do the flooring, looked up how to do the windows. No issues, no problems. I could have tried so many different things that would have netted me good contracts with people, good money, and who knows where I would have been with my company at this point. But like 7 years later, if I would have just tried to do more with it and not overthinking, not overanalyzing. A lot of the overthinking and overanalyzing comes from not trusting yourself, not trusting the work that you already put in, not trusting your good qualities, your own intelligence, and not trusting your ability to go out and find the right answer. I didn't trust myself to go out and find the right answer. It was what is it? The imposter syndrome. Like, I felt like that wasn't me. Doing a repair business, that's not me. I'm like a worker. That I felt more comfortable doing that rather than being an owner. You know what I'm saying? I felt whatever I was doing, regardless of how good I was doing it, I felt that if I was on the job site, I was fully capable of doing it. But when it was time for me to be the leader, taking lead, and me being the guy, I felt like I wasn't him. I wasn't that guy. So now it feels like, oh, now I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. I don't know what a hammer is. And things just started to fall apart. I started to question so much of myself. And that's why it's important for you while you're younger, in your teens, in your 20s, you're going through high school, college, whatever, what have you. Or even those that find this in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. It's never too late to stop going in the wrong direction. Stop, turn around, and go back and go find the right direction. But for those that are younger, man, just working on loving yourself, believing in yourself, the confidence. And even if you don't have the confidence yet, because confidence comes from seeing what you've already done and knowing that you can keep at least doing that. I played basketball a lot in my life, not formally for a team, but a lot of, roll to go out here in the street basketball. And the more that you practice and you see the ball go in over and over and over, one dribble pull up, cross between your leg pull up, scoring on people, playing great defense, whatever it is. The more you do that, when you're in really difficult moments, a lot of anxiety, tension, like shots start to really matter. It's not as scary because I've already done this before. I know exactly how to do this. So now you can feel more confident in yourself when you put the work in, practice-wise. I don't have to worry about my family members coming over and, then I can make a good breakfast. I've made breakfast enough times every single day. I know exactly what I'm doing. Only thing I have to do now is just do what I did every single day of my life so far and just make a good breakfast. I just use that example for those that are not like sports savvy and that don't know what I'm talking about when I bring up basketball. But that's part of where confidence comes from. You've done things, even if it's not exactly that. I had never up to that point put in flooring, but I've done so many things up to that point in my life that I know for sure, I would have figured it out with no problem. I would have figured it out because I know that I know how to learn things. I know where to go to ask questions, how to research things. And it's the same thing for you. Even if you don't have the confidence, trusting in the fact that you just trying day after day, putting forth that effort and getting those experiences, you'll start to gain more confidence. And if you don't have the confidence yet, going out and trying anyway, because what's the worst that can happen? You just mess up. Okay, you try again. Most things in life that you're trying to do is not that life altering where you can't just get back up and keep going. And if you are that far in life and you're like in your 40s and 50s, or me, I'm about to hit 30, and you feel like, oh, like, you know, I'm not as young as I used to be. Some of those different times and things that have passed, we all look back at our life sometimes and just wish, man, I wish I would have done X, Y, and Z. I wish that I would have taken that trip, asked that person out, took that job, not taken that job. I wish I would have quit. I wish I would have moved. Those regrets start to stack up, and people say it clichely. People say it in a very cliche way all the time, that the regrets are worse than the failures. And somebody that's almost 30, I can say definitively that all the regrets, not just the two that I mentioned because they're not that important, but in principle it is. It's the principle that matters, that those regrets are worse than all the failures, all the things that I've messed up, all the things that I've set on fire, flooded something, lost something, got laughed at, all these different things. I barely remember any of those things. And if I do, I genuinely don't care. But I stay up late at night, I stand in the shower and just think and ruminate all the time on all the things that I did not do and that I wish that I could have done. And then now that the opportunity is gone, I'm like, dang, I wish that I could have done that. And I make videos like this for people that are younger than me because I care about y'all, because you are me. You have the opportunity to do the things that I didn't do, that I currently can't do. But right now I'm doing what I know I can do, which is to pass on all the blessings and the gems that people gave to me. Some of them I've made good use of, and I have great experiences, life lessons, and just happy, joyous things to pass on to you, to give you encouragement. Some gems I got from other people and I completely wasted them, didn't do nothing with them. So maybe I can pass them on to you and you'll do something with it. I hope. This video, when I have a bunch of editing, I'm not going to procrastinate on this. I'll probably edit this and have this out within the next few hours. I'm not sure about my posting schedule, and it's going to be a lot more frequent because I'm not going to keep waiting until I do my nails. Something I have been doing as a guy, actually not that bad to do your nails. It's pretty nice to go somewhere else and get them done. I like to be pampered a little bit as I'm getting in my older age. I'm not going to keep waiting until my nails are done, till my hair is cut, till my beard is trimmed. I'm not going to keep worrying about my lighting. I had a full lighting setup and everything, and that still didn't help propel me to do what I really wanted to do. I'm just going to get my camera, my tripod, or get some books, stack it up on something. I'm going to do whatever I need to do and just make my videos, talk to people. If you enjoyed this, I really appreciate you being here. I was kind of rambling. I had no script, so I hope it all made sense. If you enjoyed it, I hope that you did. Go out and do something, and don't worry about the outcome. Just be happy that you made a decision. Just be happy that you made a decision to do something. I'm getting tired. I'm starting to mumble, but I do appreciate you. I'm going to clean up the house a little bit before I go to bed. Get my baby's food ready for tomorrow so she can have some sweet potatoes ready. Gonna have her some sweet potatoes ready for her lunch tomorrow. And I'm going to go lay down with my family. I appreciate y'all. Again, I've said that a lot, but I do. Y'all have a good day. Bye.